Hi there. The show is almost out of runway, but we still have 5.5 good minutes left to explore the most important issues of the day via the nightly.
We'll see
Yay or nay. Okay, first up, Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio, not a big fan of Tuesday's Democratic debate, telling Fox and Friends this morning that the candidate's ideas were outdated and stale, much like that tuna and toast I wolfed down during commercial.
You watched that debate last night. It looked like something from the early 80s. It was basically a liberal versus liberal debate about who was going to give away the most free stuff. Everything. Their answer to every problem in America is a government program and a tax increase. That's all they prescribe time and time again.
Okay, so is the path to voters' hearts and minds a toll-free road? Will giving away free stuff like college education work? Let's ask the liberal here. Is this the path to victory, Rick Unger?
Well, actually, I mean, saying it could be a path to victory. I have to say on this one, I'm with Hillary. I don't think you can pay for it if you give it away for free. It's a nice idea. I will say this, though. Yeah. Bernie Sanders made a point that I hadn't thought about, and I thought it was interesting. He said college today is really the same as high school, going back 50 years ago. And 50 years ago, we made the decision everybody should get a high school education. So from that point of view, I took his point that everybody should get a college education. How we pay for that, if we do it for free, I'm not so sure.
Free stuff, path to victory, John?
You know what's interesting is Bernie last night, Hillary tells Bernie that he doesn't know anything about the gun control, that what he's saying doesn't work, and he's sitting here telling her that there's no way that, you know, that the college stuff, or was it the other way? Anyway, regardless.
Sounds like a debate.
Regardless, what it was everybody up there telling each other that their plan, there's no way they could get it passed, no way they could get it paid for, which makes you wonder about all these things that they're talking about.
Because the Republicans are so different.
Well, they don't push the social programs quite as much.
No, they do the same exact thing with kill Obamacare. It'll be better.
Before you answer, I'm going to share a number with you. All right. So, the audience last night was 15.3 million. All right. People at CNN were telling me that it would only be about 8 million. The record on cable in the history of Democratic debates was only 8.3 million. So basically doubled that. Right. In that number was almost 5 million young people watching, or the young demos, so to speak. Okay, so they hear this, and it resonates with them, and they're not thinking about how do you pay for it. They're just thinking, good, my debt goes away, I don't have to worry about it. So does it work?
And well, it may work with that demographic because they would be looking for it, but the real issue is the independents, and where are the independents going to reside? And $19 trillion in debt, I think the adults in the country need to stand up and start to vote with intelligence rather than emotion.
Okay, well, next up, Donald Trump is what we like to call in the biz a prolific tweeter. And going into last night's debate, there was lots of hype around just how brutally candid the GOP frontrunner would be when offering up live analysis of said debate on said Twitter. But you gotta admit, these tweets showed that maybe the Donald really was on the verge of sleep when sending out these, I should say, to his millions of followers. Let's put a couple up on there. First, the debate last night proved that Hillary is running against the B team. She won't be so lucky when it comes to me. Okay, I like that. Let's go to the next one. Sorry, there is no star, in caps, nice touch, on the stage tonight. Obvious. Next. Can anyone imagine Chafee as president? No way. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And finally, O'Malley, as former mayor of Baltimore, has very little chance.
That was stunning remark.
So were you disappointed in Trump's tweets?
That was the great tragedy and disappointment of the evening. It was like Trump didn't show up.
He didn't show up.
What was that about?
Nothing to work with, maybe.
I mean, listen, he was right about all those things. Watching O'Malley was like watching Ted Cruz try to act like he's Southern.
I could have tweeted that.
It's usually more biting, though, Tom.
You don't drink while you tweet. That's one of the rules.
And Trump doesn't tweet. He doesn't drink, by the way.
That's true. That's a good point.
Finally,
I take that back.
Staying with the Trump theme, as we often do, here's a question for you. Our audience to you, before we pose it to the panel. Does Donald Trump deserve Secret Service protection? He is a leading candidate, and there is a $100 million bounty on his head, courtesy of escaped Mexican kingpin El Chapo, not to be confused with El Guapo. Trump claims the Secret Service isn't offering protection because he's a Republican. Does he deserve Secret Service protection given his popularity, Rick Unger?
The rules are it has nothing to do with popularity. The only person who has it is Hillary because she's an ex-first lady.
I think they should start looking into it.
Tom?
He's got his own money. He can protect himself.
No, all right. That's the best answer of the night. And that's our show for this evening. On behalf of my co-host, Rick Unger, Jonathan Gillum, and Tom Borelli, thank you for watching tonight. The Steve Ballsberg Show. That's straight ahead.